Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today we'll discuss about ITT HV 8030. It's an ampli tuner. It just passed the full restoration. Recapping the power supply section, power amplifier board. Here behind it's the phono board, equalizer board. On the right it's tuner side board with a tuning capacitor. Like you see there, the fins of the tuning capacitor. Here are the coils, trimmers, capacitors. Here is the power supply, only for the tuner. It's really well built, this receiver ampli tuner. I want to show you what I did for this one. You see here are the power transistors, two complementary on each side. They are made by Sanken. And you see our new thermal silicone pads on position now. Before was mica with thermal compound grease. Main filter capacitors, they are replaced also because the old starts to leak. And all the electrolytic capacitors, they've been replaced. I will show you in a moment how they look also and exactly what parts I used for each section. Here is the front, like you see. Here on the left is the phones connection, power on, power off, bass adjustment, treble, input source selector, tuner, phono, tape, TV auxiliary, balance knob, loudness, and the volume on first half section. Here is the signal for the radio, signal strength from 1 to 5. Here is the scale for FM, you see, from 88 to 108 megahertz. And here on the left, it's a scale for MW and LW, long wave and medium wave, yeah. Okay, FM, selector, FM, MW, LW, and the stereo. Now the button is depressed, and now it's on normal position. Depressed, normal position. And here is the tuning knob. You see it's visible, and I will change the... Okay, so this is how it looks. I will fix now the camera, and I will show you all the parts which they've been drawn out. A couple of them. Some of them are already on the bags. I fixed 4 sections. I will show you in one moment how I'm dealing with all parts. This crocodile which is connected here on the back is connection for the antenna. Because you know all these receivers, they need some connection for antenna, you see. And something very important, when the device is connected on the mains, pay high attention. You see this one have some protection here, plastic protection on the power source. No. So attention. Don't open the covers for audio equipment or other electrical device which are connected to the mains, or if they are connected to some other power supplies and you don't know the voltage across them. My suggestion, is it like that? If it's more than 24 volts, pay highly attention. Okay, so I will fix now the camera, and we'll discuss about capacitors which they've been drawn out. Okay, so we'll start with the power amplifier section. You see already 18 capacitors replaced. two of them are main filter caps here. For this I used some the originals. They've been 4700 microfarads and 35 volts. Yeah. For this, which I replace now, I used 4700 microfarads and 50 volts. And of course, 105 degrees Celsius, not 85 like on this. You see? It's written here 85. Okay, so this is about capacitors. Two other capacitors are these two, 220 microfarads, and I replace with these two, which are from Nichicon PW series. And of course, instead of 35 volts capacitor, I used 63 volts and same capacitance, and of course 105 Celsius degrees. For audio capacitors, this I used the capacitors from Nichicon also, Muse series, UES bipolar. And for the rest capacitors which are on the audio chain on the power amplifier board, and of course for corrector here on the front, instead of this one, sorry, this they've been here, they've been replaced with Nichicon KA and KT series, the audio grade, and 105 degrees. Okay, so this is the section with power amplifier, power supply for power transistors, and control section, front control section. I will disconnect now the amplifier from the mains. Okay, about the phono board or equalizer board, depends of manufacturer how they are naming this, let's say. I replaced all these capacitors. You see, this yellow are for audio section and the black are ordinary capacitors. For the green, there's no anyone green here. For the orange capacitors, I was thinking to green because I want to say I replaced with Muse UES from Nichicon, these bipolar capacitors. You can see this kind, but are here behind. I will try to lift now to see. You see, it is some green there, yeah, and also there. With UES, I replace the orange capacitors and the black capacitor and capacitors, and this one blue. I choose the KA and KT from Nichicon, and I will show you in the moment how they looks to see what I'm talking about. And here for the tuner section, here it's a little bit you have to pay more attention, and of course usually the recap process, after a recap process of tuning section, you have to make the calibration for this. If you want to see how I'm doing the calibration, just leave comments, write down, and also of course you can put some suggestions. Like I said, here is the power supply section, are 2, 4, 5 capacitors and one power transistor. Power transistor I drawn out and I replaced the thermal paste. And the filter capacitors I replaced, this one it's from Elna Silmic 2, the main power supply. And here the capacitors are from Nichicon, which I used. But for the rest section, which belongs to the tuner, I recommend to you to use film capacitors if you have the proper value, so film capacitors, or KL series from Nichicon, which are the most the most common capacitors which are designated for tuner section because they have very low leakage current, so they are really doing good job. So here are all the parts which I drawn out. and of course some Ka or Kt capacitors for the audio path, yeah, where you see the blue, like here, it's for audio path, audio signal path. Okay, so now I want to show the UES series. This is how it looks, a UES series. Okay, you see bipolar, and is written Muse and Nichicon. If you want to buy this UES series, but these are for 85 Celsius degrees. Okay, now I want to show you one which is audio grade Ka, which is this one. I hope the camera to focus. Okay, so you see audio grade 105 degrees, and also it's Nichicon, like I said. You see it's Nichicon, and this one it's a Ka or Kt. Let's see, it's written here on audio Ka. You see it's written KLAM. So this is the audio grade, and what remains the PW section for the power supplies. This is PW, also from Nichicon. They have long life, low ESR, Nichicon series 105 degrees, and PW section. Okay, this is for power supply. And what remains the UKL, which I recommend to you to use on tuner section. And also the UKL, some of them are on 85 degrees, like example this one, it's KL 1060 volts, Nichicon KL, and you see are on 85 degrees KL, but are also models which are also for 105 degrees. So this is how it looks, this Ampli tuner receiver after the full restoration, full cleaning. It's very, very shiny. It looks nice. It's from 70s, between 70s and 80s. Like you mentioned already, more or less all the videos which I have on this channel are for vintage gears, because I like vintage gears. I'm servicing this kind of gears. I have plenty of them in collection, and I like to play with them and to see how the sound is changing after all of this restoration, because for sure are some changings, and of course these changings are in the good way. So this is how it looks. This is what I was doing with this receiver. And if you like, thumb up, subscribe, like button press, and leave comments, put some suggestions, and if you have some questions also write down. And if you want to see other kind of processes what I'm doing on the bench here, you can write on the comments. Now I'm thinking to make a new video to show here on the channel how I'm testing the capacitors, especially the main filter capacitors, what tools I'm using for this. Here, like example, it's a Myro 63. So if you want to see this, leave on the comments, and of course also other tools what I'm using for this. I have also where is it? It's somewhere here. I have also other device. So leave on the comments if you want to see more about these devices and how I'm dealing with this. See you, stay tuned. Every second day new video is released. Thank you, see you.